Hey everybody, Jeff Reinhardt here, LMP Lancaster Online. Welcome to the Week 7 edition of the LL Football Roundtable, brought to you by Bobby Rahal Lexus. Thank you for that very much. Week 7, here we are. We're at Elizabethtown. We're inside. We had a little hurricane blow through here. The remnants of Hurricane Ian are still blowing around, and it's very rainy this week. So relegated to indoor duties here in the gym at E-Town, but we had to come talk to the Bears because they're having an unbelievable season. Huge game this week. E-Town 6-0. Goes to Solanco. They'll play the Golden Mules on Friday night. They're also 6-0. First place on the line in Section 3. Should be great. So let's talk everything E-Town Bears. Let's bring in Mr. Braden Cummings, who is having an unbelievable season at the wide receiver position for E-Town. I could spout your numbers off for hours and hours and hours, but this kid leads the league in practically every receiving position stat on the book. So how are you, sir? How are you doing? First 6 weeks pretty good.
Yeah.
Where are you guys at as a squad, and how are you doing here the first 6 weeks?
We're feeling confident, going in week 7, playing Solanco, 6-0 also. They're having a good season, but we're ready. We're confident.
All right, I mentioned your crooked stats, but which you shouldn't be looking at. But you and Josh just have this thing going on this year. It's been pretty amazing. You just toasting guys left and right, or you running good routes? But you're averaging 30 yards a catch, my man. What's going on with that? You're playing really well on the flanks.
Yeah, my line's just giving Josh a good time, and Josh is just setting me up to make a good play. That's all.
Play after play after play. Very nice. You guys enjoying this start? That's a great start, man. E-Town hasn't been 6-0 in a while. What's the first 6 weeks been for you and your teammates?
It's been awesome so far. The town's really been behind us, which we haven't experienced yet. And 6 wins in the first 6 games. We've never had that before. The most wins I think I've had here is 4. So it's definitely been exciting.
How's it going with the first-year coach? New voice, new guy running the program. I'm sure there were some moments like, okay, what's he going to have us do? Who's this guy? But he stepped in and done great, and you guys are really responding to what he's preaching. Speak to new coach and how that's going.
Yeah, he brought a new energy and an attitude to the program, and brought us all together like we haven't been before, and we're playing for each other this year, which it helps a lot when you're playing for the guy next to you. So.
Let's talk D. I think your offense is getting a ton of pub because of the numbers, but your defense is playing very well too. And you're a kid who's gotten to the quarterback. You got a bunch of sacks. Speak to your D a little bit. What's working on that side of the ball, and how good do you have to be Friday against Solanco, which is really going to run the ball?
So I feel like with defense, we just got to keep doing our jobs. And with Solanco, it's going to be a dogfight no matter what. We just got to keep our heads up and just don't get down and just keep doing our jobs no matter what.
Thanks to the good people at E-Town who entertained Jeffrey and Tyler the other day. I guess that was yesterday, huh? Yeah, the high-scoring Bears. And we were back in the friendly confines of the studio at 101 North Queen. Mike Gross and John Walk to my left, Jeff Reinhardt to my right. This is the LL Football Roundtable. We're headed toward Week 7. We're starting to see games that really are going to resonate going forward and have a big role in deciding section races, district playoff berths, all that kind of stuff. We have a bunch of those, it looks like, this coming week.
Yes.
We had one of those for sure last week, Jeffrey.
Yes, bullet points from Week 6.
Yes.
Saw a barn burner last week. Great game. Really hyped it all week, and it lived up to it and maybe went beyond the hype. Great game. Lancaster Catholic 38. Hamburg 35, went right down to the end. Gavin Chergay, 23-yard field goal, just over a minute left, gives Catholic the lead. Hamburg gets it back, makes one last gasp drive. Looks like they're going to go down and score. Catholic pops a fumble.
They can really score.
They can get it up and down, and they didn't have Pierce Mason either, but they still had a ton of yards and played great. Catholic gets a late fumble. R.J. Gonzalez returned the second half kickoff for a touchdown. Javon Parker, 7 catches, 140 yards, returned a fumble, 45 yards for a touchdown. Catholic's been fabulous, and they're really feeling it now, and they beat the Hawks fair and square, straight up.
Well, very fortunate that Hamburg was without one of their best players.
True.
In this season-defining game. However, Catholic made plays at the end to win
Yes,
it.
they did.
There's no doubt about it.
No doubt about it. And
What a
Hamburg's-
turnaround for them over the last couple of years.
Absolutely. They've been absolutely
God love
fabulous. Okay, second bullet point. Quick tip of the cap. Pequea Valley, 16-0 over Columbia. Braves pitch a shutout. That's pretty cool. Not sure what's going on there in Tide country. 2 quarterbacks played in this game. Tide still didn't score, but good for the Braves. They pitch a shutout.
And last year's Columbia quarterback had a pretty good game for
I heard that from Millersville,
University.
and they won. Gursky Lynn traveling trophy going back to West Lawn. Wilson beats Mifflin. Got to see that Saturday in the rain in Shillington, 32-14. Stop kicking the ball to Cam Jones. 56-yard punt return right out of the chute. Mifflin goes 3 in his 4th already this year, 11th in his career, which is nuts. He had 2 touchdown runs
Seriously,
as well.
stop kicking the ball to Cam
Stop
Jones.
kicking the
I
ball.
mean,
And I talked to him after the game, and I said, they did it again. They punted to you. And he said, well, you know, I
kick
kinda,
it to the band.
yeah,
Kick it to the
out of
cheerleaders.
bounds. Kick it out of bounds. Long story short, they watched the punter for Mifflin warm up, saw where he was punting, and when the snap came back, Jones
Good.
kind of cheated over to
Good.
that
I like
side, and off he goes down the sideline and another
You're
touchdown.
giving away some trade secrets.
Yeah,
Their
a little
opponents
bit.
are going to
Well,
stop
it was
punting
on the
pregame.
record. It was
That's
on the
sweating
record.
the details.
All
That's
right.
sweating
Last-
the details.
Last bullet point for me. Schuylkill Valley. Hey, Bruce Harbaugh back as head coach in the LL. Good for them. 4 straight wins. They're tied for first in Section 5 with Catholic. Catholic at SV in Week 10.
Nice.
Dom Jeffrey's been awesome. Three straight 100-yard games, I want to say, in section play. Good
Now,
for the
Hamburg
Panthers.
and them still have to play, right?
They play Hamburg next week in the
Okay.
Frost Bowl, which is another trophy. Got to learn all these Berks County trophy games. That's another trophy game for them. So they'll have a stiff test with Hamburg. They play, I forget who they play this week.
One of these
But
days,
yeah,
we're going to adorn this studio
Yes.
with all the trophies that are currently being played
That'd be
for in this
cool.
league. Except we can't do that because you won't be able to see us.
no, it would fill up this table.
And we could have a trivia with Reinhardt here.
the Gursky Lynn.
This trophy, who won in
Excellent idea.
2016?
I would try. The
That's an
Gursky
excellent
Lynn.
idea.
I was
What was the
stunned.
final score?
The Gursky Lynn trophy, it's in like a big case, a big glass case with a Mifflin helmet and a Wilson helmet, which are big. I mean, it's a big thing, and it
So
took
it's a-
like 2 or 3 kids to lift it up.
Akin to the
So-
land grant trophy a little bit, right?
Yeah, the land grant.
It sounds a little classier and more
But the
silent
coolest,
than the land
but the
grant.
coolest trophy is probably the milk jug.
The milk
You've
jug.
seen the milk jug.
Yeah. yeah.
That's really
Milk
cool.
jugs are always good.
That's really cool. That's week 6.
Milk jugs are money in the bank. John, any thoughts on what you witnessed a week ago?
All right, so Hempfield hosting Penn Manor last Friday. They scored 3 touchdowns in the first 8 minutes.
Turnovers were involved.
Right. 2 of them basically came right after a strip sack. One scored by David Polly, our boy. The
That's
Penn
right.
State,
Yep.
Penn State
Penn
recruit.
State recruit,
Right.
not a commit, but a
yeah.
recruit.
And then a little bit later on in the quarter, another strip sack. Hempfield recovers. Next play, Grant Hoover, 180 rushing yards, which we'll talk about him in a bit because they got
Yeah.
a big one coming up.
Yeah.
And
nice.
Pali did visit Penn State for the Central Michigan game
Nice.
a week ago. All right, let's talk about what's coming next because we got some big ones. Where do you want to go, big guy? Where do you want to go
E-Town
first?
Solanco.
Let's
I
go.
think
Bring
that's a
it.
pretty big game. E-Town 6-0, 2-0. Solanco 2-0, 6-0. Tied for first place with Garden Spot in Section 3. 2 undefeateds meeting here, and they're 1-2 in the district.
Who has the better defense?
The better defense, I think statistically E-Town.
Yeah, but who has the better defense? Do you think?
I'm gonna probably.
close?
It's
E-Town?
yeah.
Okay.
Statistically, it's E-Town. You know, we could break down
Yeah.
the strength of schedule and all that stuff. They're also, you mentioned big district games. E-Town's 1, or Solanco's 1 and E-Town's 2 in the district rankings. So this is also a big game for
That's
district
5A.
rankings in 5A. Exeter's number 3, and they're also undefeated. To break this game down a million ways, my favorite nugget is probably this: Solanco's going to pound it. They're going to go triple option
It's
and
a
run,
contrast of
run,
styles.
contrast
Yeah.
of styles. E-Town, unbelievable balance, as you saw in the piece. Josh Rudy leads the league in passing yards. And just when you get enamored with all their passing yard numbers, oh my, Logan Lentz, the running back, has 800 yards and 14 touchdowns. The number of plays that E-Town has run is unbelievable.
E-Town, one of only 4 teams in the league with 1,000 passing yards and 1,000 rushing yards.
Yes, which is really impressive. They've had unbelievable balance. So great game. Neither of these teams have really been here for a little while.
Yeah.
Winner stays in first place. Loser gets their first L. We'll see what it does with the district rankings, but that's a whopper game.
Now, John, you saw Hempfield avoid the trap last week,
Yes.
if that's what it was. I don't know if that's really what it was, but maybe. Hempfield and Wilson.
Wilson, I was looking at their defensive numbers. 211 yards per game is what they're holding opponents to. 5th best mark in the league, which I bring up to say they're really going to have to keep a lid on a Hempfield rushing attack that had a good week last week, 183 yards from Grant Hoover. Jackson Landis, the quarterback for the Black Knights, can get it done through the air, and he's got like 3 or 4 really nice weapons and a nice tight end who can occasionally pop out and catch 1 or 2. I think it's going to be a really grinded out type of game. Aside from Hempfield's quick scores, even the last 2 weeks on big chunk plays, whether it be off, fumbles or Hail Marys and what have you, they're very much a grinded out team. They got an awesome defense that's going to keep them in the game. They might stall offensively and then come back and go right down the field on 10 plays. So I like that kind of Section 1 late in the season type of matchup, 2 heavyweights going at it. And talking to Egger, man, he just reminds me so much of Mark Evans from like 2016, 2017 when he was building the Blue Streaks
That's interesting,
to get to a district final, to get to the state semis, just a lot of the thing. We got to do a lot of little things right, which I brought up to say, you guys beat Penn Manor, what was it, 34-7. It could have been in the 50s for Hempfield had they won, not turned the ball over 3 times, and 2, not committed 116 penalty yards. However, Wilson last week, 151 penalty yards.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I covered that game. It was one flag
brutal.
after
Yeah, I remember
another.
you-
so there could be a lot of laundry coming up this Friday.
It was terrible.
One point about this. Last year in the districts, Hempfield played CD East with Mackay Flowers, who was a great kick returner and a weapon in receiving and a weapon. They completely took him out of the game.
Wow.
And they completely managed to hem him in as a return specialist, did nothing. So here's another challenge in that area. We got Cam Jones. It'll be interesting to see how they handle that.
No doubt. 3 quick things. Hempfield, don't punt the ball to Cam Jones. Number 2, Wilson's on a 16-game winning streak in section play. If they're going to get picked off, Hempfield, here's their shot. Number 3, Hempfield's in the middle of a grueling stretch. Get this. They beat Township, rival trophy game, late. They beat Penn Manor, rival trophy game. They get Wilson Friday. Next week they play Exeter non-league, and they're 6-0.
Wow, I didn't even
That's
know
a
that.
whopper late season non-league game.
I'll say.
So tricky 4 weeks here for Hempfield.
Wow. The next game we want to talk about a little bit features what I think is maybe the best 4-loss team in the state, Berks Catholic, against LS. John, what do you got?
I was curious because Berks Catholic, you look 2-4 overall. They're Berks Catholic. It's a program that you wrote earlier in the week, is just fresh off coming 7 straight District 3 finals recently anyway.
Yeah.
And a 2-4 start uncharacteristic. So I was going back and looking at their notes as far as, okay, but what did they come into the year with? They needed to replace most of their defense. They had a new quarterback. They had a new featured running back. But they did have 4 returning O-linemen. They began the year 0-4. They won the next 2, but those 4 losses are against really good teams.
Really good.
So you would think that would kind of battle test them for what's going to come up this Friday against the Lampeter Strasburg.
And they gave
squad.
they gave the monstrous Wyomissing a pretty good game. It was a very close game
They made
at
them
halftime.
sweat.
Yeah.
Which Wyo doesn't have to sweat much.
My keys, I guess, LS defense holding opponents to 118 rushing yards per game, 5th best mark in the league, which is notable. Bring up the fact Berks Catholic running back J.J. Jordan, 630 yards, 9 touchdowns, 6.8 yards per carry. That's going to be kind of the 2 clashes there.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Jordan has 4 100-yard rushing games in a row.
There you go.
177 last week in their win over Weiser, 45 zip. So Berks has a little juice and some mo here, but LS's D is a different animal. We'll see if LS can shut down Jordan. That's a good game.
It seems like they've really been pretty good on both sides of the ball for the last 4 or 5 in a row. Anyway.
True.
Lancaster Catholic coming off this gigantic win last week.
No doubt.
If there's any hangover, they're playing a team that has a puncher's chance to cause some problems.
Yeah.
Anvil Cleona, who can score the football.
Yep, and they're unique. They're Veer, and they stick it on the ground. Phoenix Music, our guy. We haven't mentioned his name in a little while.
That's right. Neglectful on our
Music.
part.
He actually did not get 100 yards last week, and they scored 42 points against Kutztown.
Yeah.
But he leads the league, 1,057 rushing yards. Only kid in the LL with 1,000 here through 6 weeks. A couple other kids should hit it this week. So that will be Catholic's assignment. They're going to give the ball to Music a lot. So stuff him and see where he goes and wrap and tackle. Intriguing game. trap game. You know, I like how you talk about trap games sometimes, but Catholic has Schuylkill Valley, another first place team coming up a little later on. So tricky place to go play, Anvil, on the grass, and we shall see. But Catholic's really playing well. Oof.
They really are. E-Town and Lancaster Catholic, and Solanco, are those three really have had
Yes.
broke out this year, I think.
Agreed.
Yeah. All right, anything else for the good of the order, gentlemen? Where are you going to be on Friday, John?
I will be Lampeter Strasburg, my first trip there so far this season for football anyway, against Berks Catholic.
Nice. Double dip weekend. Friday night, Coreyville, Solanco, E-Town. Can't wait. That should be great. Saturday, I'm going to see YO. And they're playing Cocalico, one of those monster kind of heavyweight Section 4 games we've been waiting for. I'll catch you Saturday afternoon, 1:30, Cocalico at YO.
We're past the halfway poll, folks. Week 7 coming. Should be interesting. We'll be back next week to talk about it. This has been the LL Football Roundtable for John Walk, Jeff Reinhardt. I am Mike Gross. And also for Bobby Rahal Lexus.
Yes.
I can't believe I almost forgot. Anyway, see you later.